Our friends Bill and Eric are on the line. Guys, thank you so much for giving up your evenings and being here with us tonight.
A pleasure, Pat.
How is your weather out that way?
Eric, how are you doing over there?
I'm looking at the cams right now, and there's a few little clouds. I'm seeing some clouds go by, but for the most part, clear.
Not too good over here.
Cloudy that way?
Yeah. I looked at the commercial break. I was checking the cloud radar, and it looks like it's going to clear up from west to east in about an hour or so.
We've just had nothing but rain out here for the past couple of weeks. We've had kind of the monsoon moisture and the storms bubbling up at night. It was supposed to be a nice weekend in the 80s, and kind of rainy and cloudy today. It cleared up, and now tomorrow 60s and rain. Just crazy, man. It feels like actually when I had to work today until about 3:30, and I was down south, and when I was coming back home, the mountains, the trees are already starting to change color. They're already flipping over. And matter of fact, a week ago, at 8,000 feet, they had snow.
Wow! Already. I think we're gonna have a rough winter again this year. Last year was pretty tough. I think we'll have another one this year. This summer has been abnormally cool. I mean, I have a pool in the backyard, and I rarely use it. It's just too chilly out here. Last night it was 51 degrees, and that's chilly for here.
Yeah, the water just can't heat up.
You know, and I have a solar cover, and it's still chilly.
Wow. Yeah, they're saying, the Farmer's Almanac is saying that it's going to be a rough one this year.
Fortunately, though, thankfully, no hurricanes, no big storms that are affecting the U.S. You know, so that's one thing that I got to say. For the last couple of years, we've been lucky as far as the storms.
Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully it'll continue that way. So, Eric, at the beginning of when Bill came on, we were talking about his interest in ufology. If you don't mind me asking, how did you get into this whole thing? How did this interest all come up for you?
I've always been pretty interested in it, but for me, I would say about something like 2008, 2009, around there, I finally caught wind of the Disclosure Project hearing they had down in Washington, D.C. at the National Press Club. It was in 2001. I saw that. It was run by Stephen Greer. I saw that on YouTube, and that's what had a phenomenal effect on me, because there was just nothing in ufology that I would see on TV or online that indicated to me that there's enough there to say this is real. I just couldn't do that until I finally saw that program, and that meant a lot, because it was like 30 or so professionals, military people and all, getting up one after another, saying that this is real, this is really going on.
Right.
And I could finally believe it.
So had you had UFO sightings in the past?
No, I don't recall ever having a sighting before that. Now, when I was down in Puerto Rico visiting my aunt, like a year and a half ago, we always go on Monday nights to this oceanside bar. It's just a thing we do, always to the same place. And one of those Monday nights, we're sitting there at the bar looking out over the ocean, and what I saw at first, I thought it was the local parasail, those things they take people up on rides for.
Right,
right. That's what I thought I was looking at. So I just saw it out there. It actually kind of, when I recall it, it almost had an etheric sort of look. But that's what I thought it was. And then a couple minutes later, my aunt's friend sitting there, he's looking out that way, and he says, "That's a spaceship." right? Then I perked up. I was like, whoa. I look out there, and for the next, 5 minutes or so, now, I needed new glasses at the time. I had to kind of rely on what people were saying. I could see the object, but I couldn't really see it sharply. So I had to go by what they were saying, and I bugged them about it all evening after this happened. But what I saw was this object it's probably 10, 15 miles offshore. It starts going up and down really slow, almost like it's trying to get our attention, up and down, then it goes down into the water, and that's it. You didn't see it anymore. You didn't see anything coming to that location or leaving that location. It was very, very strange, and I would say that qualifies as a UFO.
I would too.
Yeah,
I definitely would too. It's and I think with what you guys are doing and have kind of started off, and and the interest is there. I mean, I definitely have interest. I am going to get at least a couple of these cameras before the snow flies and get them set up. I'd like to get them set up so that I don't have to go out and play with them though. And
I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to make sure that I have a nice, clear area. I don't care how much snow I get this winter. I'm going to make sure I'm able to set up every day possible.
Right.
Yep.
Well, here's the big question for both of you. What have you've both been recording tons and tons and tons of video. Have you come across a lot of unique things?
Eric, go ahead, because you got a nice one during the meteor shower, but I'm not too sure what the heck that was.
There was that, what was it, the Perseids? Is that something like that?
Perseids, yeah.
Yeah. A guy left a comment on the video I put up saying he thought that it could be debris from the comet. It was right in the middle of those 3 days that we were supposed to be going through that field. And what I got was a flash. I'm not sure really if it was spherical or what came up on the video kind of looks like a cigar or cigarette-shaped bright light flashing by. And I would say that's the best catch I got so far. It's very odd because it's not like these other small things going by on the screen. It's really large.
Now, Bill, I was looking at some of the video that you posted, and you had a lot of squiggly-looking things coming across the camera.
You know what? A lot of that are bugs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bugs.
Okay.
I got what? Okay, Eric was here in my house, I'd say about 3 weeks ago. And it was about 3:30 in the morning. My friend was here also. We went to a festival. We went to bed. And then a couple of days later, I went over the footage. And I saw like an orb approach the camera. Very graceful. It just floated. It was a spherical ball, like I said, like an orb-looking thing. And it just stopped, kind of like if it was looking at the cameras, and just moved on its way. And I've been capturing a lot of bugs. In comparison, nothing comes close to that orb-looking object. The bugs, they leave a certain distinctive trail. Like you said, a squiggly line, or it's more defined. Even if the camera is zoomed, because it's at the same zoom pretty much all the time. So I'm still going to have that same effect. Now, the moon, we had the supermoon out that weekend.
Right.
So that might have played some kind of role in it. But I showed it to Eric, and, we were both scratching our heads. Exactly what the heck was that? I'm not sure. But see, that's the thing you got to be careful with. You gotta be reasonable. You gotta stay logical. You gotta take all the stuff that's in the equation, identifying, like I was mentioning earlier, the planes, the bugs, the meteors, all the near Earth objects. You have also a lot of debris in space junk that falls into the atmosphere and burns up. And we see that too. You'll see at times a video where you see little white dots appearing, and then they vanish. That's stuff that could be burning up almost instantaneously. Instead of leaving a trail, it just goes poof, and it just burns out quickly. So we have to be very careful when we're analyzing our footage to exactly say what we're looking at, because about a week ago, matter of fact, it was a week ago today, I captured something, and it ended up being a star out of focus that was leaving a ring around it, and it looked like a disc. You know, so you got to be very careful when you're analyzing the stuff, when you're going through the editing process, and what we're posting and what we're saying that on these videos.
So the little squiggly things moving, while it looked cool, they were just bugs, huh?
Probably just bugs.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that, you know, and I'd like to get both of your takes on it, you know, we see a lot of, if you go to YouTube, there's so many videos out there that were, you know, that are captured outside of the ISS and different spaceships and, you know, different NASA launch, missions. And you see that squiggly moving thing, and I've sometimes wondered if those are maybe bugs or something inside the space station or in the capsule, because they look to appear to be the same thing, how they gyrate and move.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Eric has his opinion on the tether, and I think we pretty much solved that whole tether deal. If you remember, do you remember the footage of the tether from the International Space Station?
Yeah, maybe give us a little background.
All right, it was supposedly they were looking out the window and they had released the tether, and it was in the distance, and they were picking up these disc-looking objects with a circumference in the middle, like a circle, and they looked like they were flying around the tether. They were just flying in and out all around. And I showed Eric a video that I had captured, and it looked exactly like the objects that were going around the tether. And it ended up being that is definitely related to the camera. It's out of focus. It's a focus issue. It's a zoom issue. So, you know, I saw that video and I was like, okay, I don't think it's what everybody said it was. You know, I have something exactly on my video recording that looks just like that. I mean, Pat, it looked exactly like what they were capturing around the tether. So, a lot of it could be the equipment. You know, I'm not one easily convinced, even though I've seen stuff. I can't say that what I've seen, the first one, you know, was possibly a military craft, top secret,
right.
You know. But you got to be very careful when you're going over this footage and discerning what you're looking at, because you see a lot of people on YouTube. Oh, UFO captured in the sky, like Eric was saying before, what he's seen in Puerto Rico. The true definition is unidentified flying object,
right.
And you know, so that's exactly what it is. Are we saying it's from some other planet or dimension or wherever it may be the case? You know, that's a whole different issue. But you have to go basically on the definition. UFO, unidentified flying object. That's basically what we have to go on.
What's your take on it, Eric, when you see all these different videos you see from the space station and stuff? It kind of looks like some of the stuff you're capturing almost.
Yeah. Yeah, some of it is very similar, and I did take a big interest in the tether footage because when I first saw the tether footage back in probably 2007, 2008, around there, when I first saw that, I was stunned. I was looking at it, and I'm thinking this could be really something to it, you know. So I remember going to work one day thinking, actually believing through that day of work that could be UFO footage. And then when I got home that day, I got a little more, did a little more research into the explanation. Well, what are people saying that seem to know what they're talking about? What's the explanation? What's the debunk? And they explained that it's a type of lens used. It's called a catadioptric lens, which combines a mirror, like in reflector telescopes, with regular lenses. And come to find out, what we're seeing there is the shuttle made a water, the excess fuel cell water dump
Okay.
And that water that comes out of the shuttle turns into like very small particles of ice, which causes like a debris cloud, and that like follows the shuttle for a while, just surrounds the shuttle. And so when they were filming the tether through the window, this ice that was in the foreground looks like UFOs. They look like orbs flying around the tether, but that's not the case. It's just right up there by the window.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, and you know, that's the whole thing, guys. You know, I've had the honor to have so many different guests on the program, and a lot of different ufologists, as you all know.
Uh-huh.
But I think at the end of the day, you know, and I use the term wishful thinking a lot. I want to know that, I mean, I really believe there are things out there. I know that I've mentioned on the program so many times about the 2 sightings that I've had. And I just preface it with kind of like Eric did, you know, it's something that's unidentified. If it's of this world, we've got some unbelievable technology. If it's not, hey, it was pretty cool to see. I wish I could have captured it. But there are so many videos out there, and as we started talking at the beginning of the program, these foggy videos or blurry videos where you can't really tell what's going on. I've looked at a lot of YouTube videos where people say, oh, there's a UFO flying over somebody's home, or it's caught up in a tree. And, you know, you've got to replay it several times, and you kind of realize that I don't think it's a flying saucer or anything. I don't know what it is. But again, it's getting the clarity down and debunking all the other stuff. Like you guys said, you did a little bit of digging into it. And while it would be great to think it's little UFOs helping out, a lot of times I think it's just kind of debris. And those little squiggly things that I saw in your videos, Bill, that move across, and people say, "Look at their little flying saw." I've seen that on tons of videos, and like you said, they're a bug of some sort.
Yeah, that's why, you know, like I was mentioning before, you have to be careful when you're going over this. Like every video that I post on YouTube, I just label Skywatch, the date, and I'll put meteors, satellites, etc. You know, and sometimes, you know, I'll put unknown object because exactly that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at something that is unknown to me. I don't know what it is. It doesn't fit in the category of what I'm looking at on a daily basis. So, you know, you got to be careful when you. I don't like the point where people just putting stuff. It just adds to this. It discredits the whole objective of being interested in ufology.
Right.
When you start seeing, I don't want to be blunt, but garbage that's being put out there, and it's so blatantly hoaxed or faked or photoshopped, that just does such an injustice to those like Eric and I who are taking this very seriously and observing this on a daily basis, and just trying to find something that looks tangible and real and can be proven. You know, that's the whole point here for us. I'm speaking obviously for myself. I think Eric pretty much feels the same way. But that's the objective here, to find something that's without question. Like you said before, it could be a top secret thing. We don't know if it's ours, where it came from, whatever. But if it moves at a 90-degree angle, that's what the kind of thing we're looking for. Something that you say, whoa, now that's impossible. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah. People don't really look up enough. I know I don't. And that's one reason I got the cams, and they're working out great. I didn't even think the sky was good. I'm within the Boston city limits, so we got city lights here, and I didn't even think I could use a telescope or anything here. I didn't think it was possible. So when we got the cams and they worked, I was pretty surprised.
And all the stars you're capturing.
Yeah. And people don't look up that much, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are odd things flying by that just go unnoticed. And so if you've got a cam in the sky going 24 hours or whatever, I don't think the odds are that slim that you're going to get something.
Yeah.
Had on the average 30 objects a night, easily.
You don't know what they are, but they're there.
Yeah, and like he was saying, as far as the picking up in the city limits. So this is something that can be used anywhere. But just before I forget, we removed the IR filter in the cameras. This allows for more light to be captured at nighttime. You don't want to do that for daytime, but for nighttime, for lower light, you have to remove the IR filter.
Gotcha.
It's a big help.
It's like a little bluish green filter that's in front of the sensor inside the camera, and we've got it down to removing these things pretty quick now. You know, there's some small screws in this camera. You get in there, you pull the IR filter out, and you're going to get a better, view of the sky, view of the stars. Everything's going to be a little brighter.
Have you now? If we could talk a little bit about let's get a few questions answered. Quite a few of them came through in the chat. Let me go ahead and run them through you, just so we're not thinking about forgetting about the folks that sent the questions in. Gino writes in, says, Bill, do you use B&H Photo in Manhattan at all?
Absolutely, online. I can't travel to the city because I live upstate, about 100 miles away. But I do a lot of shopping online, and that's pretty much. Actually, Eric helped me a lot in giving me the direction of where to do the shopping. But yes, that is definitely one of the places that I visit online to do some shopping.
Now, do they carry these cameras too?
Yes, actually they do. And like I said, the prices are basically similar to other places that I've seen, so they're very reasonable.
Okay.
They're the prices. So yes, they carry the equipment just like you can find it pretty much on Amazon or eBay or wherever you want to look, you'll find it.
Well, I know there's plenty of places to get them. Have you bought it? Have either of you guys bought any of the refurbed cameras?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And they work fine. Tell them the issue with the cameras, though, Eric, with the pixelation.
The pixels?
Yeah.
The dead pixels?
Yep.
This particular camera, whether you buy it new or used, it has a few dead pixels around the screen. If you're lucky, you get a camera that just has a few near the edges of the frame. If you're unlucky, it's got more of them and they're in the frame. But basically, on your night sky, you're going to have, on the black screen, you're going to have a few what look like stars, but they're permanent. Right. And it can be a little, I'm a perfectionist, and so at first I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? But I got used to it. It's just a fact of these cameras. It was good to know, in a sense, that they come. Bill has bought mostly all new cameras, and I've gone with used and refurbished myself.
Gotcha. Now, what do the lenses run when a person buys a camera? What should they do as far as a lens and the cost of a lens? Okay. And what do you suggest?
I would start right out with the 100. We're mainly using one type of lens now. It's called a GVI 100 millimeter zoom lens, like 10 to 100 millimeter zoom lens. It's got a nice wide lens to it, and that's mainly what we use. And they're really, I would say, they generally would go for like $80, $90. But we've got a seller. I've made him some offers, and when I'm buying a bunch, I'm getting them for like $23 each. So I'm getting a really good deal on them.
So now,
buying them in bulk.
Right. So not too bad. And I just tooling around on the internet here, I found a couple places online. Looks like refurbed. You can get them as cheap as $75.
Yeah, 100. If you shop, you can get it for about 100.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And then again, the cable comes into the house. How about a DVR? What type of price is a person looking at a DVR? And do you
we got a steal. Tell him, Eric. Tell him, Pat.
We got a super deal. Like you were mentioning, it's a security camera DVR, and right now I've got mine on sequence. It handles up to 4 cameras. I've got my monitor on sequence, so I'm watching each camera for 5 seconds, and it's going through a sequence of all 4 cameras. And we really lucked out because I guess this company actually went out of business or something, and these are brand new units we got, and I know they're worth like $300-400, but we got a deal on them for $60 each.
Oh wow!
With the hard drive.
Yep.
Wow. Very good. So, and these will record up to 4 cameras at a time, and then you can actually go back. So while it's recording all 4, you can actually go back and pick which camera you want and go through it. Correct? It actually creates like 4 files for you.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Very, very good.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Actually, I actually upload or download whatever. I pull hour-long segments out of it, and I am putting them, basically all the footage onto DVD. I'll have it on my computer for a while. I'll examine it. I'll review it, try and find some good stuff. People have seen the videos I make. But they are getting a little. I talked to my father over the weekend, and he's looked at a few, and he says, well, you know, they're boring. After you see a couple of them, they're kind of boring. So I'm getting a little discouraged from making those same videos because they are a little boring, and you know, you're seeing a lot of. It depends on the person. You might want to watch them all. I don't know, because I love stargazing. I love looking at meteors and stuff, and I think it's fascinating. But now I'm going to focus a little more like Bill. I'm going to focus on getting those really odd things, and not so much on just the meteors and stuff. I want to find the good stuff.
Gotcha. Well, again, it's the whole point of it is just taking the time and capturing it. I mean, that's the big thing. Is that it's like fishing, man? You gotta you may get that big one, but if the pole isn't in the water, it doesn't matter. Now with these cameras, again, if a person just wants to get one, as you stated, you can just buy the one camera, the cable, the lens, the little box, and plug it into your computer and just let your computer record. Correct?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, you can. I would say, let's see. You might have a hard time finding a used camera. If you're out to get a used camera and get a deal, they can be a little rare, but they pop up now and then. You just kind of gotta wait. But you could get a new camera for like $97. You get the Easy Cap for another 20 or so. You get your wires. If you need a tripod, you got to buy the tripod, and a few other little doodads. And really, for like $150 or so, you could be all set up. I could easily set someone up with one cam for $150, no problem at all.
Gotcha. That wouldn't break the bank, and it would not only, but it would be kind of that it's a lot of fun, but it could let you save you from getting a stiff neck looking up all the time.
And you know what, too? I think it's great that this could be making an awareness for people to have more interest in looking up.
Yeah.
And doing sky watching.
Yeah.
People need to be more observant of their surroundings and their environment, and I think this is one aspect of that. To check out what's up there. You see all the things that are going on around us, so I think it's important for people to develop an interest in this, And like I said before, it's not strictly about UFOs; it's educational as well.
Right. Another question that came in from our friend Red on the other side of the globe. Red says, Bill and Eric, have either of you heard of Dorothy Izatt, Izatt? She's been taking superb video, 35 millimeter, for years.
No, I've never heard of her.
Neither have I.
Yeah, he put some great.
35 millimeter is awesome. That's you're talking a different level of camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red there's some links in the chat room if you want to go over there and take a look at the links. I took a look at a couple of them here.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that.
Another question from Red is there some kind of free college with a photography department Have you guys looked into doing any, maybe going to a community college at all, and doing any, learning on photography? I think you're just going to kind of muddle through it on your own.
Eric?
Yeah, I think on our own we seem to be learning more and more at a good pace. I think we're doing pretty good on our own.
And we get a lot of positive feedback from people that are, when we're in the chat room, they're very helpful, very knowledgeable. So we're always open, like I said before, for suggestions and ideas. So I think, like you said, I think we're doing pretty good considering where we're at right now. Where we were 2 months ago.
Oh, I agree.
Totally. What a difference where we're at now than we were a couple of months. And again, we went through all the kinks and all the difficulty of getting everything working properly. Don't get me wrong. When you get the camera and the proper equipment, the cables, and it's really easy. But ever since we got the DVR, that set it to another notch. And we're going to keep going up on these notches. We're not going to stop probably here. We're going to keep expanding and growing. And each level will have its kinks and curves, and we're ready for it. I think we're prepared, and we consult with each other constantly, and, we do a lot of research. So I think we'll do pretty well on our own. And we hope that other people will join us. That would be awesome to get more people to come and join us in this venture.
Go ahead.
Down the road, what I'd like to have, from what I know now, I think what I'd like to have down the road, if I really take this all the way, would be what we would want is night vision. A really nice quality night vision, and that stuff is really expensive, though. I mean, something called a night vision tube. I've seen like defective but working ones go for like $1,500. So that's a lot of money. But between a mount that you can control with a joystick and having night vision, I think that would just be awesome.
Yeah, that's going to rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we have now is these are low light security cams, with pretty good resolution. It's low light, and we removed the IR filter, so we are getting. We're in the direction of night vision, taking that IR filter out. And another thing we played with too is we got IR lights, which you can mount on top of the camera, and you could do like ghost hunting. You can point it in your backyard, and you don't see any light coming from the light, but you've got night vision, because it's an IR light, and because you removed that IR filter on the camera, you can see in the dark.
Yeah, it's well, again, that's the thing, is kind of finding that unique stuff, finding the things that are the anomalies out there, then getting a chance to go back and replay it and take a close look at it.
Another idea that we were thinking about, we were throwing this in the air, is maybe making a domain where we can get a whole bunch of people's live feed cameras around the world.
Yeah.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Have different locations, make a report, what they're seeing, longitude, latitude, what you're looking at. I think that would be awesome if we can make a domain to do something like that.
Yeah, I know an IT guy that could probably help you.
Oh, yeah. But I'll tell you one thing. Joe Champion at Inception, they're planning, hopefully, to get our cameras up and running on the Inception Radio Network site, so people could view our cameras pretty much 24/7. That's in the works, and hopefully soon, if you just go to that site, you'll be able to see our live feeds right there on their page.
That'd be great. That would be great. When are you? Let's talk a little bit about the You were talking, Bill, about the gyro and following stuff. Is that something you guys are both looking at? If you see something unique or putting something together that can kind of track things a little bit?
Yeah, because see, the problem is if you notice, if you see people with their videos, they'll be at their camera and they'll move their tripod and follow the object. But a lot of them have the mechanism, the motorized gyroscope for the motion detector where it follows the object automatically. That's the next step for us. This way it can follow the object and see its movements, where it's going, directional. Because then if you have, let's say, an array of tripods with the same mechanism, and they're all set at different perspectives in the sky, they'll follow it. They'll track it. You could pretty much track this thing across the whole sky. So I think that's another thing that we're going to probably be discussing and looking into doing in the future.
That's interesting.
Yeah, one drawback right now is these tripods are regular camera tripods, and they're really set up for a horizontal view, for a camera looking horizontal. And when you get a camera horizontal on the tripod, you can easily track it left and right and up and down. But the trick is when you're turning the camera up to the vertical position, you can have control of the up and down, but the left and right is a little sketchy because the tripod really isn't made for that.
Right, exactly. Our friend from the East Coast over there, Durhuff, writes in and says, Bill and Eric, are you considering taking any of your footage to have it studied by an expert from MUFON or the like?
Eric, go ahead. You go first.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we get something good, and that one video I posted earlier of the Flash, that might be worthy. I'm not sure. I have this thing. I don't want to bug those people unless it's worthy. Like I watched a video. I saw a video a guy put on YouTube from up our way in New Hampshire, and he filmed. He was just using a quadcopter. And when it was on the ground, in my opinion, just a bug flew by. I mean, you could even see the wing on the bug early on in its pattern. A bug does this swoosh across the screen, and I was like, well, it looks like a bug to me, but I'm interested. And I left a comment and got in touch with him, asked him if I could get a freeze frame, from the original source, nice crisp picture. But then I saw a video of MUFON coming and examining it, and examining the situation, and I don't know, in my opinion, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe, first of all, that the guy contacted MUFON. In my opinion, looks like a bug. But whatever. But my opinion is you got to have something worthy, before you call them.
Right.
But then again, this is just video, and I suppose it would be easy enough to just let them know about it. It's online. They can take a look, and if they want to come and talk to us, hey, that's great.
Right. Exactly.
Plus, we have our friend MJ. He's director of MUFON in, I think, Wisconsin. So, we have access to people who are directly connected to MUFON, and I think it would be easy and great just to contact them and work through them to look at the footage too.
Yeah. I mean, and there's plenty of sources out there. Like you said, you want to get something that is at least credible and and something of interest.
Yes.
But
like I said, we're looking for that 90-degree turn. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah. If we see something like a pong scene with a ping pong ball taking a 90-degree turn, we'll probably know we got something good. But another thing in the works also, another thing I want to do is I just posted a helicopter video in the chat. I'm pretty sure it's a helicopter, but it looks very interesting. It's just an interesting look at a helicopter, probably a helicopter. Another thing that's in the works is we want to put a microphone out there. And if we're going to put a microphone out there, let's do it right. We'll put it in a dish, so it's like a directional microphone pointed up at the sky. And like an example with this helicopter video, I look at it and, well, it's probably a helicopter. Now, if I had the audio with the timestamps, I could go back and review it, and there's the helicopter. I'll hear it. I'll know, okay, that's a helicopter. But if I went back to that timestamp time and there's just no sound at all, well, guess what? You know, that's probably a UFO.
Yeah, exactly. Could be. One thing I'll do, Bill and Eric, if you can, I know, Bill, you sent me a lot of stuff. If you, I've been writing a ton of notes down here. Maybe I will go ahead and put a link on the Fringe Radio Show's website, and if people want to go out there, I'll put some links to some places and even do a little diagram, and maybe before I post it, I'll have you guys take a look at it and make sure I'm right on it, because I think there's a lot of interest in this. I really, really do. I think this is something that, as I've mentioned in several shows before, which I need to get back on and even have both of you guys on, is have Wilbur Allen back on the show. UFO DC is his website. And I commend him because of all the footage, all the films, you know, all the stuff he shoots. I mean, he shoots hundreds and hundreds of thousands of frames of photography, and just goes through it and dissects it, and the stuff that he finds that you have to go looking for. And there's not a lot of people doing that. And the Skywatch, there's people doing Skywatch, but they're sitting out there with a cup of coffee. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it's hard to do it consistently. And the system you've built is going to do that for you.
That's the thing, Pat. Ever since we got these DVRs, but again, the EasyCap comes with a software, that you can record directly to the computer, but it is a hog as far as recording, because it takes up a lot of space. We're talking not megabytes, we're talking practically gigabytes when it records. It draws, it just uses so much. The DVR is great because it has its own hard drive. You don't have to do nothing. You just let it record. The next day, you go and you check out your footage at your time, at your convenience, and you go through all the footage. It doesn't have to be the next day. It could be a few days. You could wait for a rainy day to go through all the footage. So it's not like you have to be on top of it. It's doing the work for you. The cameras are out there. Once you get it all set up and you adjust the lenses and you get the focus just right, you leave them out there, you let them record. The next day or a couple days later, you go back, you review, and you edit, and then you post. That's pretty much basically what you're doing.
Well,
it was about three months ago. A guy came in the room, Skywatcher, under the name Skywatcher, and he posted a video that he had taken with. He's got a pair of night vision goggles or binoculars, night vision binoculars, and he puts them on a tripod and he makes videos. He even got a little DVR. He came in the room a little over 3 months ago and posted that, and I was, I pepped up right away looking at, I told him, I really want to get into this. Do you know, how much does a camera cost or whatever? Well, he gave us this link. I just posted the video in the room. He gave us the link to that video, or posted that video in the room, and that's actually got a cool picture of the camera on it. That's the camera we use. If you look at it's a title shot on the video before you press play, and on the back of the camera there, you see the converter, the BNC converter, which has a female RCA jack on the end. You just plug into that, and that's a great video. maybe we'll be able to respond by making an even better one to get more people involved.
You know, that's the thing. A little video would kind of help and show you how you hook different things up. And like I mentioned as I was mentioning to Bill, anything to get rid of those adapters, and like you said, or just putting cables on there with the quad, with the shielded cable, get rid of all the adapters will just get you more and more video signal to the computer or the DVR and just give you that much more of a clean photo. And looking around, just doing a little searching around while you guys were talking, the Samsungs, these cameras are about the best bang for the buck. I mean, you can spend a lot of money on these cameras, but for the money and the quality, it's hard to beat.
And if you look, you'll see a lot of people use these cameras with their telescopes also.
Gotcha.
So this camera is got wide uses.
Well, it's my hat's off to you both for taking all the time to put this stuff together, because it's, without a doubt, it's interesting.
Yeah, for like the video where he said, the video that he just posted in the room, that's what got us hooked. When we both seen that, we got to do this. And that video was pretty much what started it all. And we haven't stopped. It's actually like a snowball. It's just growing bigger and bigger. And I love it. I'm enjoying it. I'm hooked. I can't say enough how much fun I'm having doing this every night. And also sharing it with others. And hopefully developing interest for other people to, get into this. And like Eric was saying, $150. You have everything you need pretty much to have the equipment that we started with. Remember, we got 4 cameras, but we're going to a different level. All you need is one. Basically, all you need is one.
How many do you think you guys are both going to end up eventually?
I'll say
I got to stop buying them because I got 8. I just got a deal on 4 of them, so I bought another 4. I got a really good deal, but so I got 8. And I do have issues with buying things. I got to really watch myself sometimes.
I'm not a collector. I'm an accumulator.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of buying from China either, as Eric knows.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, without a doubt. Hey, guys, I want to take the time and thank you for being here tonight. And why don't you give out your what's the YouTube? So if people want to take a quick look, you want to go ahead and give those out?
Eric, do you have yours available? I'm going to look mine up right now.
Well, I am the American Road Warrior on YouTube. No anything, just American Road Warrior. And anyone's welcome to view my videos. I did do about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago I started. I did a lot of work on the tether video, explaining the various ways of calculating and showing that it is just ice debris. That's something that's not too popular among certain people that really believe that's UFOs. But someone might find it interesting. Some very descriptive videos about that.
Well, sounds good. Yeah, you sent me the links. You sent me, Bill. It's YouTube Maiden 4CE. That's MAIDEN, the number 4CE, and American Road Warrior. I put them both in YouTube, and they both came up. So they're in there, and people can go out and take a look and check out all your work.
Yes, and soon, like I was mentioning earlier, our cameras, the live feed should be available on the Inception Radio Network.
Okay.
That's a work in process right now, and I'm sure it'll be up and running shortly. Okay.
Guys, I want to thank you both for being here tonight, and I'll go ahead and kind of get a little drawing set up and some info, let you look at it, and I'll post it on our webpage, and if people want to go out there and as you update it, send me updates, and we'll put plenty of info out there and kind of help the community get into this, because it's not only is it a lot of fun, it's interesting.
God, I had a great time, a lot of fun. I love being part of your show as a fan, and also now being here with you. It's tremendous for me.
I appreciate both of you. I appreciate all the support and you both being there all the time. It's an honor to have you both on.
Yeah, I finally called in. It's about time. I
finally
called in.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about serial killers in the next part of the show. So get yourself something to drink, and we'll have some more fun tonight.
Have a great night, Pat.
All right, guys.
Thanks a lot, Pat.
Take care. Good night. God bless.
Bye-bye.